So that's where we want to go to next. We want to do an exercise. It's really kind of lovely. We actually call it the love list. And so I would love for us to hand out, we're going to hand out this worksheet as well. And it's so simple. It literally says on the top, I love. And then the point of this exercise is this. We'd love for you to think of 3 things that you love to do, to be, to experience, that are just for you, that things that really light you up. It could be the kind of music you love. It's a little bit like our self-care thinking, but it's more so if I were to ask you, what are 3 like really non-negotiable things you love in your life, things that make you happy, bring you joy. I want you to be thinking about those things, because then we're gonna look at that in comparison to how that shows up in the relationships that you have and the friendships that you have, right? So give yourselves a couple of minutes and think through your love list. What are 3 things that you love that are really specific to you and your life right now? What I love about this exercise in particular, creating that love list, is because as simple as it sounds, just even remembering what brings you joy is really important, and it's a foundational piece. So what things showed up on your love list? What are a couple that you'd like to share?
Throw them out here.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex.
I every morning really like drinking water, and then the water that I don't finish, I give to my plants. It's like this weird little thing I'm like, and then I turn on their little lamp because they don't get good light in my front. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna be going. You guys take it, girl.
I love it. I'm having a feeling that your plants have names.
They don't. But
No?
I did have a little money tree, and
Yes.
young money because he was very.
Nice.
That's
I
hilarious.
like it. All right, well, think about a good name for grown-up money now.
I had an aloe vera plant called Alice, but she didn't survive one winter in New York, and I felt really upset about it. I really let her down because I'd gone and New York was cold.
It's all right. She did her service to you. Well, I love the idea that that sounds like a ritual, something you do every day. So that's something you love. So you drink and you share the water with the plants. Anybody else have rituals like that, or things that they do every morning?
Not a ritual, but something that brings me the most joy is I have twin nieces, and they're only 2 years old, but they're so cute and they're so happy. So no matter how I'm feeling, they always kind of pick up my mood and just bring
Love that. Kids will do that. Kids and dogs.
Yeah,
And
for
cats.
sure.
Yeah.
What else is on your love list? Yeah.
I actually put, it's just similar plans, but I put gardening.
Yes.
I can only do a lot in the summer, but just like spending time outside. And
Yep.
just like making something grow and helping something to grow always makes me feel better.
Excellent. What are some others? Yeah. What did you have?
Something I just realized was maybe a ritual that I didn't know that I had was singing in my car. I walked to work this morning and I was listening to music, but I was like, can I just sing out loud? This feels wrong. I'm missing something. So apparently that really brings me joy.
I like that. I love that. What a wonderful eclectic group of examples. I love this. I haven't heard these before. What else? Give me a couple more. Yeah.
I have one that ironically ties into our friendship talk, but I have a lot of long distance friends.
Yeah.
So like one of my favorite things to do is we'll do date nights. Like we'll pick a movie or a TV show and grab like wine. We'll both pick up chocolate in our like select cities. And we'll have like a little FaceTime date night, although we do get really anal about making sure the movies start at the exact
Same
right time. Because you can't give anything away.
Do you watch together, like via Skype or via like how do you do
Literally,
that?
like we'll hold the phone FaceTime, and then like my handle hurts, so I'll prop it up against the pillow instead. And then like one of my friends is like, I can't see your face, I can't see your face.
That's seriously adorable.
That is adorable.
But that's very sweet. What a sweet ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? What else
Aerie?
came up?
I love my rituals. I'm like a real ritual person. So I have a different one on weekdays and weekends, but they always start with yoga and iced coffee. And on the weekdays, I watch the Today Show while I get ready, and I like to give myself a full hour and slowly walk into work. And on the weekends, it ends with a pedicure. And then I drive home. But like I have to do this.
But
I love
that keeps you feeling regular and connected, and
Yes.
I love that.
And then I love my husband. Yes. And my cat.
Same and same. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, so I always notice my schedule filling up fast and maybe not having that me time. So I actually went out 6 months and blocked off days and called them make no plans days, and I'm sticking to them. So it's like a monthly, and it's not usually a whole weekend. Usually it's a Saturday at the beginning of the month and maybe like a Sunday at the end of the month. But I literally stay home and do nothing.
Well, what I love, what's your name?
Allison.
Allison. What I love about that is that going very back to that first example was you prioritized time and blocked it and saved it and protected it. Oh, I love that.
Said, hey, do you want to do something? I can't. That's my day. Do not do anything about it.
And you commit to it.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Anybody want to add? Yeah.
I put my career and just because it like inspires me every day and it gives me like somewhere to go. Like even if I'm not having like a great day, like it gets me up out of bed and like moving and talking to like my coworkers and everything.
I love it. Nice.
So the reason Iskra and I wanted you to do the love list was because, again, it's a reminder, right, of what brings you back to you, but also you will notice it'll be the number one time that you feel disconnected in friendships or relationships is when you don't get to do those things, right? So I talk a lot about shared values. We talk a lot about kind of friendships oftentimes are rooted in shared values or shared activities, like your story of, you know, sharing the movie with your friends, which are so sweet. And I think sometimes the biggest elements of conflict come when we're not getting what we need to fill ourselves up or to even just reconnect to ourselves. And it might have nothing to do. If Iskra and I are friends and I'm just feeling really frustrated every time we're together, I'm not feeling like I'm getting what I need, it may not be about Iskra at all. No. It may be that I am a gardener or I really, you know, want to spend time alone or I want to do yoga or I want to do something. And I just haven't connected it, right? I just haven't been able to say, hey, Iskra, I love the time we spend together, but I'd really love to be doing X, or I really need a little bit more time with Y.
And you have to communicate that because I was in a relationship and a friendship where I guess maybe I hadn't communicated strongly or directly enough that actually I don't want to go to the club again. Right. You know, that isn't actually something I really enjoy. That's something you enjoy, but you can't force it upon me if I don't want to. These are the things I like to do. I think I actually did say it, but, you know, there are definitely times when you do have to communicate more of what you want. And then being able to say no and, you know, having a friendship, we shouldn't be guilty about that.
But it's so hard because we haven't often been socialized to feel okay asking for what we need.
Yes.
Right? We feel guilty. If I am in, you know, if I'm hanging out with Erin, but what I really need to do that day is spend some time meditating or, you know, being alone, it's like, is that selfish if I ask for that? Oftentimes when a friend declines an invitation or doesn't go out with you, it could breed some feelings of jealousy or insecurity, or you might start to put all the pieces together and think, well, they may not like me anymore. You know, we start to make up narrative in that space. And so the reason that we talk about the love list is because, again, it's a reminder of what you need, what you enjoy, and then we want to bring that to relationships because, per Iskra's point, that's where the miscommunication really starts to happen and conflict starts to
and I travel a lot. So, you know, recently I did a trip to London and one of my best friends who I haven't seen in a long time said, oh, maybe I can stay at your hotel that night, And I had to like politely explain. I was like, actually, you know, I really need to value my sleep right now. You know, I know this is part of my self-care to know that that is something that's I really need, like for my health, for my well-being. So I said, we can have breakfast the next morning instead. And, you know, I had to just rid myself of any guilt and feeling bad about it. I was like, no, you know, I know she'll understand. She's a close friend. But you have to figure out and listen to, you know, what you need.
Do you guys find that it's hard sometimes to ask for what you need in your friendships if it might not be in sync with what your friends are doing or experiencing? Anybody have examples of that they've navigated well or have worked through? Your friends are shaking their heads.
So grateful for that my friends understand that if I say no, I need rest and
it's not personal.
And quiet time, and actually I want to be with you, but you know what? I just need to be still and on my own and sleep. Because the best
it shocks me.
You're all brilliant and so like respectful with that. And there's no judgment.
But did you ever have to work on that as a group of friends? I mean, you all are pretty three evolved friends, but I'm just curious if you had to practice that a little bit.
I don't know. I think we became friends. We were quite. We know ourselves so well. We respect, and when that respect is mutual, we just understand, and we know if I'm having a bad day, and we know when Leah needs to, you know, have time on her own. You know what I mean? We just respect that, and I think when you respect each other, you don't take things personally. There's no judgment because they want the best for each other.
And I think it has shocked me, almost going back to that feeling of the target and how close you are with a friend. When someone is shocked when I allow them to do what they need to, or you know when you get that oh, you know, I need to pull out tonight, I really just, you know, I can't, da da da. And I've even had those friends that it makes me feel like I'm not close to them when they lie to me. Oh, I'm not feeling great, I can't make it tonight. Just tell me you don't want to come. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then it makes me feel like, are we that close then? Because if you were able to just be like, Iskra, not feeling it, need to stay in. But if you make up some excuse that someone's cousin, something this, da, 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 I don't know. Sometimes, so it's kind of like that authenticity and that honesty, and just, as a friend, you should be allowing and giving that other person permission.
Yeah. But this really goes back to the self-care piece, because a lot of us aren't, again, taught or supported to know that what you need is also important, right? So that if you do need to sleep, you need to ask for that. And sometimes that's scary, because we might risk, or we think we're going to risk losing somebody for asking for what we need.
So I feel like whether it was how I was raised or my parents or whatever, I always thought that relationships and friendships were, you take care of the other person. Like that's what it's, but it's not. It's actually more like, I will take care of me for you if you will take care of you for me, which is like a weird little mantra.
Ooh, say that one more time, Sylvia. I love it.
I will take care of me for you, and you will take care of you for me.
Ooh. Love that. I think that spans to all relationships.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Because you can really lose yourself in other people's spirals or their problems or whatever. And if you can just help them take care of themselves, and while keeping yourself in check, I think that's the most you could ever really do for someone.
I think, Alex, right?
Yeah.
I think you just beautifully summarized this workshop in general, right?
Which is the whole point, that, you know, when we talk about how we feel about ourselves overall, friendships are such a big part of that. Relationships are such a big part of that. And if we have discontent in our friendships, if we're not being honest about what we need, if we're hiding things from friends, or we're withdrawing because we feel like we're going to be rejected, all of that impacts our self-confidence. Right? So I love this, because what we're really now getting into the heart of is, how do we challenge those communication skills, and how do we make them better? Because I think that's a great part of self-care. Vocalizing what you need and what you want. And per your point, Alex, sometimes we're not brought up to know how to do that. You know, I will share this. I've written 2 books. My first book, I went into this quite a bit. I was bullied very much in school. I had a lot of challenge with friendships. I mean, I'm a girl with the last name of Weiner, so that was like tough. But I had a lot of really tough childhood experiences of navigating friendships with girls in particular. It was really difficult for me, and the lessons that I kept learning over and over again was very much what you just said, which was, I felt like I had to give it all. I had to jump right in. So if I made a new friend, I almost like mirrored and jumped right into their life so much that I forgot who I was. So you train each other how to behave like that. And then when I would pull back, when I needed to do something for me, or I grew differently, or I went in a different direction, the pain of that separation or that disconnect was so much more, because I wasn't being authentic to who I was. And when I was hurt, I didn't learn how to speak up quickly enough or in an effective way to be able to really trust that we could work through it, right? So that, you know, have you ever had friends that ghost you? That just start, you know, who just start to like, you know, leave you alone, or you've got friends who sort of might abruptly exit a friendship over something that you feel like feels minor, right? So sometimes it's so, does that resonate for you too?
Yeah, definitely. I almost know like a serial person who, if there was like one conflict or one thing they didn't agree on,
they'd be gone.
Oh no, like that person isn't my person. I'm kind of like, it was something small, and you were like pretty close, and you had, I think, a pretty great relationship. You don't want to just work on that thing, because it's unrealistic to think that you're going to agree on everything.
Agreed.
It's unrealistic. With anyone in the whole world, you're not going to agree on everything. Right. And in a friendship, you can't hold it up to that perfected illusion that you might see in the movies where everyone's besties or or on social media, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And I think I got married later in life. I got married when I was 40. And so I think when I had a relationship with my husband at this point, and I felt a different kind of friendship and love, it actually shifted my real life friendships with other people, because I think you're always constantly growing and shifting to know, how do I engage in this relationship? And friendships are a relationship. And, you know, I'm talking about friendships broadly with all genders or all identified genders. But again, at the end of it is, I think, exactly what you just said, which is, who are you being in these relationships?